that little person is me, and that feeling I get like I'm standing on top of the world, that's what I feel when I'm empowering myself. And empowerment to me is a mindset, a powerful mindset. And it's just little shifts you can take in your world that can have a huge impact on it. So with any decision I face in life, I always ask myself, if I take this path, am I gonna be owning my power or giving it away? And the only answer for me is to always own it big and bold. Of course, to be so passionate about empowerment, I must have given my power away at some point in my life. Often you don't even realize you've given it away until you take it back. And that pivotal moment of realization for me was a couple of years ago when I lost my sense of direction and decided to go to somebody else for that sense of direction. And I went to a psychic. And I had so much faith and spirituality that I gave her all of my power before I even booked the session. And unfortunately for me, she approached our session in a very unempowering way. She told me about one single future, so I felt like I had no choice. And even as I was listening to this future, I wasn't excited inside. My heart was not singing. But even so, I was like, okay, this is happening. I have to get on board with it. So I literally did. I went down that path. And as I was making this future my reality, even so living it, I still wasn't excited and I still wasn't happy. But for months and months, I lived this, and I was studying for my LSATs, looking to see which law school I wanted to go to, and I threw myself into my books. And this entire time I felt so trapped. That this is not what I want to do. And it took me a while, but eventually I asked myself, Janice, like, why are you doing this? No one's making you become a lawyer. And that's when I realized that I actually do have a choice. And it was in that moment that I took my power back, and I could see that I had endless choices in front of me. And that is petrifying. It's nice to have a path just laid out for you, and that's what I was looking for. But I'd rather be terrified and empowered than unempowered and unhappy. So, with that wisdom that I got from the hindsight, I was able to look back into my past and see other points in my history where I had also given my power away. For example, when I was a child, I had pneumonia a bunch of times, way more than you should be having pneumonia. And finally, when I was in grade 5, I was diagnosed with asthma. And we realized that all those times I had pneumonia was probably just misdiagnosed asthma attacks. And even though we had always thought it was peculiar, we never thought to question the doctor. And so this is an example where we had given our power to the doctor without realizing it. So it can be difficult to question people in positions of authority or professionals, but whether you're a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, a historian, you, me, we're all humans and we all make mistakes. And it's healthy and empowering to be able to discern information, regardless of where it's coming from, and to make that call yourself. So don't give power to people, but also don't give power to situations. When I first moved to Ghana, I moved into a house where our bathroom was at the long end of a very scary hallway. And it was scary because there's always a hand-sized spider waiting for you. So I would literally schedule my day around going to the bathroom anywhere but at home. And one night with a very full bladder, I realized I was giving my power to a spider. So I sucked it up and I went to the bathroom, and I stared at the spider the entire time. But it was the most triumphant and empowering pee I have ever had. And it sounds silly, but it's just a simple example of empowering yourself in a daily situation. So also, don't give power to yourself. And that might seem contradictory considering we're talking about empowerment, but we all have thoughts and beliefs and perspectives and mindsets that may not be the most empowering. And it's very real to us, and it can be uncomfortable to think, to question that. But we could have self-limiting beliefs, thoughts that come in as facts and we interact with the world because of it, and mindsets that are not quite so empowering. For example, there's a concept that you can have one of two mindsets. There's a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. To me, a fixed mindset is very unempowering. This is when you perceive your abilities, skills, and talents as innate. Either you were born with them or you weren't. So when you experience failure, you think, that's it. That's the end of the road for me. I'm simply not good at math. Or I'm not a good public speaker. And you stop trying because what's the point? But with the growth mindset, you would perceive that same failure as a challenge. You would think, I'm just not good at math yet, but I could be if I work and I try harder. And so with that growth mindset, if you try that enough times, you can prove to yourself that it's possible. And we can also look at our thoughts as well, because they can come in as very real and factual. So say I had a thought like, Joe doesn't like me. Well, before I start interacting with Joe as though he doesn't like me, let's try to take my power away from that thought. All right, so, okay, Janice, why don't you think that Joe likes you? Well, he didn't smile at me yesterday. Okay, besides not liking you, why else may he not have smiled? Well, maybe Joe's just having a bad day. So you see just simple ways that you can challenge yourself and own your power. You are able to feel like you're standing on top of the world because you're owning your world. You're owning your power. And I know it can be an uncomfortable concept to question things and to challenge things, but the more times you put yourselves in these empowering, uncomfortable situations on a daily basis, then you can become comfortable with it. And you can really feel the power of self-empowerment and see the value of helping others empower themselves as well. So to me, this is a much more beautiful way of looking at the world, and I hope you have your eyes open to a beautiful world as well, and are inspired to own your power big and bold on a daily basis. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Janice. Does anyone have any questions for Janice? Yeah.
Maybe I missed this in the beginning, but what was your definition of power?
Power or empowerment?
Power.
Power? My definition?
Mike.
Sorry. I haven't thought in particular about power, but empowerment, possibly?
No, I mean, I think I kind of understand what you mean by empowerment.
Okay. You mean giving power away or taking power in that way context? I think it would change depending on the person in terms of because I'm speaking about empowerment, so how you feel in control of your life and when you feel empowered. But in terms of people in like positions of power and whatnot, I don't have an exact definition of that concept.
We have a question over here.
If you're not going to be a lawyer anymore, what is your new path?
I enjoy speaking, which is why I wanted to do this. So I think hopefully one day advocating for something or empowering others to have a strong voice by using the strength of mind, hopefully one day. Thanks, Steph.
Oh, we have one more question.
So you subscribe more to the growth mindset, it seems.
Yeah.
How do you feel that you might have personally grown and been personally empowered during your time here in Ghana?
Wow, that's even like within like the first day, I knew that I was like forever changed. I think what I appreciate and what I'm grateful for, I've definitely learned that human connection is so important, and I've realized that what I actually miss from home is human connection. And sometimes I can complain like, oh, there's no movie theater to go to, or there's no, I don't know, just the little activities I miss from home. But what I really realize is that it's human connection, and it's not the materialistic stuff that I thought that I missed, that you're so used to. I guess I was so used to back at home. But that's just one little thing of a million ways I've grown here.
Any other questions? Give it a round of applause for